I always say I don't need to go on holiday. I walk to the bottom of my street and I have every nation there.
We came to England in 1972 November, being forced out of Uganda by Idi Amin, who was the military ruler in Uganda. My father started business in Uganda at the age of 12, and then he would give some of the goods to the Africans who would take it to the villages, sell it for him. They get half the profit and he gets the half. And just before 1972, he became quite a successful businessman, dealing heavily into coffee, exporting onions to Kenya. But deep down, he was a very African man at heart. He would help the local people. If we had our Christmas, or in being a Muslim, it would be an Eid festival, he would shower money to them. All the villagers would come. So a very liked man in a little town called Uganda. He became a councillor there also, and he became very close to Milton Obote, who was one of the presidents that Idi Amin, who was an army general, overthrew. Now when Amin came in, he got on well with my father, but then Amin became very blood hungry, started repressing his own people, wanted to buy arms, and England would not give him the yearly aid that it used to give to Uganda. And Gaddafi, as we might like him or not, was the one who advised Amin at the time, the best thing is tell him to take your own citizens away. Most of us were British citizens because it used to be a British colony, Uganda. And we were given 3 months to leave.
But just before we left, there were times he was employing 200 people a day, working for him. We had 7 trucks, I remember, we had chauffeur driven. You could ask for anything, he had it at that time, and then suddenly you lose all that overnight when Idi Amin came.
Now my father was a Ugandan citizen and got on well with Amin, so he thought it'd be fine. Until the last 7 days, one of the Amin's ministers said that, listen, we can't protect you anymore. Our soldiers have become blood hungry. You will get killed, and we had to leave. My father didn't even tell all the people he employed, the house servants, the housemaids, didn't tell anybody, and we left overnight.
He was telling me that, look, Anwar, when you have nothing, don't open up your fist. If you open the fist, people know you have nothing. He said, no, keep your fist closed always. Even if you have nothing, that is your hope.
So you work for hope.
But my father could not work for anybody. He was a businessman. Amin took all his property, all his cars. In fact, he had bought 2 brand new lorries before we left. Those were also lost. Amin took everything from him, but not his knowledge of doing business.
Which he said, you can climb and reach the top. And if you fall down, don't give up. Try the other hill. Still go on. Go on, even if it is 7 hills. Don't give up. That is what he believed in.
My father settled in Bristol. He loved it. Same as Kampala, which was the capital of Uganda. Although we lived in a village about 70 miles from there called Uganda. But my father used to travel to Kampala a lot for business. And Kampala was surrounded by 7 hills. And I believe Bristol is also surrounded by 7 hills. And like you have the valleys and the hills, you have up and down. With our business, we've had up and down. But he loved Bristol because of the 7 hills. And in a way, it reminds us of back home also.
We had a Mr. Alistair who brought us to Bristol when we first came in 1972. And there was a festival at the top of the College Green. They had a festival. And he told my father, why don't you make some samosas? And we can sell it at the festival. So he told my mom, she made 100 samosas, and can you imagine you going on a bus in 1970s, taking 100 samosas on a bus, didn't have any transport, no car or nothing, The whole bus was smelling of samosas, okay? Which is, I mean, it was quite embarrassing at that time because the culture was totally different. We got to the festival and I think he sold all these samosas within half an hour or 45 minutes. So he rang Mom, he said, can you make another 100? Okay, so it's all right. So he went back on a bus again, took 2 hours trip, back again, done the samosas, and that made him think, hang on a minute, there is a market for selling samosas. And that's how we opened the Bristol Sweet Mart. The name being Bristol Sweet Mart was to do with Indian sweets, and we started with samosas, and the actual main shop started with samosas, and we can never forget that. So I think that was our main line of success. He never thought in his life that there was chance for him to run business in Bristol, because it was a totally different culture. He thought to do business in UK with English people, Asians got no chance.
And now it's become it's still known as Bristol Sweet Mart, which my father chose the name. And the reason he chose sweet was because he was the first one to bring Indian sweets into Bristol. One of the successes of the business is that we are very community based. We help the West Indian Cricket Club, the youngsters. We will help the football players. We help the whatever association comes up, like Bangladeshi. There's quite a variety of ethnic people in the area, and we try to help them as much as we can.
When it came to religion, he was a very different person. He said, any religion that says there are two gods is not a religion. But if that religion is preaching that there is only one God, respect that religion. Doesn't matter whether it's Christian, Hindu or Muslim. So I sometimes used to ask him, then, which religion are you practicing? Okay then. And he would say, well, humanity, that's my religion.
Because I will never forget that as a family business, we came up the same way. If you help people, they'll help you. My father always told me that if we all stick together as a business, as a family, if you've got 10, 15 branches, they're very difficult to break together. If we all brothers split up or families lived apart, anybody could destroy us by breaking one branch at a time. So we've stuck together. We also have breakfast which is cooked by our wives in the morning. We eat together, we discuss our family business. The children join in, we have a cooked lunch. In the evening, we all have different houses. We go away, so we get that little space as we need. We have a very much family get-together on weekends, barbecues, or if any good or bad thing happen, we get together very quickly. Like my mother died recently, and she got a very good send-off, a good funeral, and it made me feel good in a way that there is nothing like family. You can be a successful businessman, and if you're a lonely person, what have you achieved?
I was really surprised when I came here, and then I hear the national food of Britain is curry.
It's chicken tikka masala.
And chicken and masala, they say it's a national food.
So I think food, all this international food, Indian food, all sorts of food is also bringing people together, and it's making a multicultural society, which is good.
My father, when he left India, he was 7-year-old for almost 40 years. That is the time he came to know that his mother is alive. So when he visited India, entered the house where my grandmother was living, his mother. My grandmother tells my dad, you don't remove your shoes. You just come in. I am only allowing you to come in with shoes. This is your house. And they met, he met her. He also cried, grandmother also cried. And when he wanted to sit down on the bed, when you respect someone, you offer the bed to sit on bed, not on chair. So when he wanted to sit on the bed, the mother says, no, you are my child, you're going to sit in my lap. And here my father is almost 50-year-old, and she held him and made him sit on her lap like a baby.
I travel a lot all over the world. I've been to America, you name it, France, anywhere. I think this country accepts a lot of religion and people as long as you stay within the law. Same as the food here. The English people will try all sorts of foods. They'll try Indonesian food, they'll try Burmese food, they'll try Mediterranean. Compared to like America, you know, Indian food took a long time to get in there. They knew mainly Chinese or Mexican. Mediterranean food came in there very late. A friend of mine opened a restaurant in France, didn't have any luck with an Indian restaurant in a village area. They wouldn't even touch it. England, I think that way is amazing. Not only in accepting people of different cultures and letting them keep their cultures, but the way they accept the food also. That's one thing I would give thumbs up for this country. I would be proud to be a British too.